So yeah, it's been a while. I think over a month since the last status update I did for the second channel. So I want to give another one now because a lot of you are probably curious about how it's been if you don't follow the streams often, where I do occasionally bring it up. But I've been a little silent on Twitter and etc. So I'm give an update, a quick little update right now. Probably won't take too long, maybe like 10 minutes. So we'll start with, I guess, from where I left off in the last update video, like about a month ago. That was right before I started Dupixent. It's an injection to help, you know, with eczema. I've been meaning to get on it for a long time, but obviously I had to try pretty much every option before being able to get access to that. So that was like a long process of like 2 years worth of trying things that didn't end up working. So yeah, I was in a pretty shitty state pretty much before starting then. You probably know that I was like flaring up in cycles. So 1 week I'd be doing okay, and then the next week it just all go downhill. And I never know how I would be, how I would feel from day to day, whether or not it would improve soon, etc. So yeah, a month ago I started it, and for the first few days, it generally takes like up to a few months to see whether or not it's working or not. First few days, I didn't really notice too much of a difference. In fact, I was like kind of itching a lot more. But after that, I think it started kicking in. Basically, right now, a month into the injection, my itching is down pretty significantly. I'm able to sleep, like just sleep through the night without being interrupted, which is good. It's not perfect, let me just tell you. After 4 weeks, I'd say I'm now in a much more bearable position. I wouldn't be satisfied, let's say, if I was like this 6 months down the road, but for a month in, I think it's going alright. So basically, the itching is down, my skin is just more intact. It's no longer in shambles, really. It is still, like, very, I guess, a little ashy, flaky. I guess that's probably the best way for me to describe it. Very red as well. So, like, I get a bunch of red spots coming up from multiple places from time to time, but it doesn't feel that bad, which is the good thing. That's really all that matters, honestly. At least at this point, it's the feeling. So I no longer feel like I'm a walking zombie. Because back then, literally any movement I did, I could, like, it just felt uncomfortable. Just discomfort 24/7. So the fact that that's mostly gone is obviously a good sign. But yeah, no pictures right now because, well, I still said I'm like, you know, still having these red spots come out. So you like, if I showed you a picture, you wouldn't think I improved at all. You probably think it was basically the same. But it's just inside again. It feels a lot better. And I just really have to hope that, you know, improvement continues week by week. Because it has been sometimes going down, slightly going down over time. But it's not like a straight line down. It's more like a wavy up and down. Because I think today it's a little bit worse than yesterday. Not by a big margin again. Like, not significant at all compared to other times I've had flare-ups. Where I would, you know, literally be out of streaming, out of making content. But the fact that, you know, I got worse from yesterday and I'm able to do this just fine, for the most part. Again, that's really all that matters for now. But yeah, as for that injection, I have to take it once every 2 weeks by myself. So I literally have to stab myself with a needle every 2 weeks, but I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's 15 seconds of pain, quote unquote, for potentially a lifetime of no longer suffering. So 100 out of 100 times, I would take that trade. Although I'm not gonna lie, I do get anxious, like, on days that I have to stab myself. It's never gonna be comfortable. Maybe that'll go away over time, but I don't know. It feels better when someone does it for me, because then I could just, like, because you don't know when it's coming in if you're not looking at, you know, whatever nurse is injecting you. Speaking of injections, I have not had my COVID vaccine yet, just because Canada's a little bit slow. I actually should mention also that I'm not just on this injection, I'm also still on methotrexate. If you heard me mention it, like the previous updates, that's an immunosuppressant. It, I guess, lowers your immune system. Potentially makes you more susceptible to, like, COVID, flu, other things. I don't know if that's even, like, doing anything, because again, the improvement mostly happened after starting Dupixent injection. So it could either be a coincidence that the methotrexate started working right at that time. I've been on it for 2 months longer than Dupixent, so right now it's been about 3 months. But yeah, the 2 months before then, before starting, like, the immunosuppressant didn't do shit. So I'm inclined to believe it's still not doing anything, but I don't know. I guess the only way I'll know is if I stop it, but right now I don't really want to risk that, because I haven't had any bad side effects from taking it yet, so I'll probably just continue taking it until further notice. Yeah, I think that's all I really have to leave it at. Not a long update again. The less I talk about it, generally the better, because obviously if I'm doing fine, I don't really have to bring it up, but if it's affecting my life, which it was, prior to, I guess, the last couple weeks, then yeah, I don't really have a choice but to, you know, but to let it all out. It's just really hard to imagine, you know, going back there once I've already experienced what it's like again to be quote-unquote normal. Again, I wouldn't say I'm completely normal, but this is the closest I've felt. And hopefully it'll get closer in the coming weeks. We'll have to see, but I'll update you, I guess, maybe a month from now, maybe a couple months. That is if you're, you know, not watching stream. Because I generally mention how I'm doing a little bit on the streams, so I update you regularly there, but again, for the most part, the less I talk about it, the better I am for the most part.